Willard Art and Frame doing a preliminary interview for the Mixed Messages show featuring Justin Hillgrove and Mike Capp. Welcome and thank you very much for this opportunity to chat about your work.
Thanks. We're excited to be here.
Great.
Thank you.
So sort of the first question we have, just to get started, is like, what is your artistic journey? How did you discover your styles?
So I grew up mostly drawing people's Dungeons and Dragons characters, painted a lot of Warhammer minis. My art was more of a traditional fantasy background. And just many years later, after I met this guy, and he actually was the one who got me started painting again after many, many years of not painting. My kids showed up around the same time, and so I still wanted to paint the same weird stuff, but I made it much more approachable, and I didn't want my kids to be scared of my art. And that's like the short version, I guess.
I graduated illustration and got a job with this art director right out of college, and was getting jobs illustrating for this magazine like Bank Investment Representative, and I was like, wow, this is so horrible. I've made a terrible choice. I've made a terrible career path. So after a year I quit being an illustrator, and so I said, I'm just gonna paint for myself, and I'm just gonna like do what I want. I don't want to be art directed anymore. So then I was just doing that. And then when we met in 2005, I was still kind of into that vibe, just kind of doing art for myself. But then Justin's like, hey, let's start doing some shows, and let's start doing this and that and stuff like that. And I was like, no way, I don't want to do that. And so then yeah. Long story short, doing all the shows, festivals, galleries, websites, selling stuff, and then just kept, through the years, just kind of, I wouldn't say I wouldn't reinvent my style, but it definitely kept evolving, and yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, we're really excited for the show. What typically inspires you?
Oh man, just everything. I mean, my base inspirations are the formative things that I grew up with, like, Jim Henson and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and all this great art. Even like the old children's books, like Where the Wild Things Are. All those Richard Scarry books, and P.D. Eastman, like Go Dog Go. I really liked that children's book. So yeah,
with me, it's like I can't. I heard a quote said, "Don't ever let an inspiration go to waste." So if something inspires you, use it. So if I like don't have the time to like actually do it right then, I'll definitely write it down. Right, I have lists. But then with my style of art, I'm doing lately now. I've been doing a lot of my paintings are based off of like there's a lot of grids in it, and there's a lot of neighborhoods within the image. So when I wake up, I'm like, it could be the color blue that I'm kind of like vibing on that morning. So I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do something with the color blue, or it could be a song, Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It. That could be the inspiration in the morning, right? Because I listen to it on Spotify. So then I'll try to put it in like one of the grids, the neighborhoods in one of my paintings, and it's almost like if I do that every day, then it's almost like then these paintings that I'm working on ends up being kind of like an inspirational diary of the month or 2 months that I've been working on the piece. So inspiration is coming from everywhere.
That's wonderful. Who is your favorite artist?
I have lots of favorite artists. I kind of mentioned, some of the kids' books and stuff, like Maurice Sendak, P.D. Eastman. I love Eastman and Laird, like the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles artists. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Mike Capp, because he really is the one who got me started painting and changed what I was painting, because when I met him, I wasn't excited about painting anything, and I was seeing the stuff that he was doing, and you know, we always joke about this line where I'm just like, oh, you mean you just paint whatever you want? And he's like, yeah, man, I just paint whatever I want. And I'm like, I want to do that. So yeah, for sure. But if I go to like a Comic-Con or something and I'm up at Artist Alley, there's always a couple people that I always look for. Like I love Natalie Anderson does risograph, not paintings, prints, which I just really love. And then Andrew McLean does Headlopper and some other comics, and I love his work too. So there's so many people
There
I'm
are.
excited about.
Yeah, my favorite artists, they change weekly, but one that always is a constant is Moreau.
I always look for him at Comic-Con.
I believe Moreau died in 1983, but he's from Spain and probably more prominent, probably in like the 1920s, 1930s. But Moreau, surrealist, used a lot of like childlike imagery in his paintings. Sometimes a lot of color, sometimes subdued color. Always go back to Moreau. A little bit of clay. Did a lot of grids, a lot of color theory, and then local artists. I really, obviously Justin Hillgrove, Don DeLeva, Travis Torgerson. Yeah.
Maybe second those. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Nikki Gardner. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, and then I'm digging on David Cho. I really like his content that he does on his social media too.
Yeah, he'll send me clips and just via Instagram, and yeah, they're fantastic.
I might even like his content more than his actual paintings.
Yeah, I 100%. That's how I feel.
Wow, I'll have to check those out. That's wonderful. What was the first project you both worked on together?
Well, the first collaborative painting, I believe, it was one of our first folk lives that we were doing, and Justin said, hey, let's do some live painting. Okay, so they were like, oh, let's just go ahead and just work on one together. And I believe it was a painting where Justin had painted a couple characters and they were holding an umbrella, and then I painted I was really into like silver metallic backgrounds at the time, so I kind of did that. And I think I had like little monsters falling from the sky onto the umbrella. I think that was the first collab.
And we did quite a few collabs around that time, and the one here is indicative of the time period. This is from 2007, but it's pretty typical of just the weird mashing together of our styles at the time.
Yeah.
But we went on to work on a lot of fun projects, and like more recently we even went to Iowa and painted a huge mural together, and
on the back of a police station.
It's been a few years
yeah?
now.
It was like, was it like a 30-foot by 40-foot?
It was about 25 by 50.
Yeah.
And we had to get a scissor lift, and I'm terrified of heights, so I'm like crouched down trying to get it to work. We didn't know how to make the stabilizers work, so the whole thing's leaning.
I couldn't even drive. I couldn't even drive that thing, that lift.
And then my son Calvin was with us too, which it was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
What was the conceptualization of the piece?
It was a piece that I had already done. It was a picture of the characters from Where the Wild Things Are lined up against the what do you call that? The usual suspects kind of lineup. And it was funny because the mayor had bought that piece, like a smaller canvas, at a show I was at in Salt Lake, and he just really liked it, and he asked if I could come down and paint it on the back of a police station, and I mean, that's funny. Why? Well, yeah, I'll do that.
The timing was all messed up because of all the red tape with like city council and the city and stuff. So when we
It was
got
in the
there,
middle
the weather was so bad, we had to quit because I think it started snowing.
Yeah, they called it a snow flurry, which I've never painted during a snow flurry before outside, so that was interesting.
And we had to actually come back home and then come back and finish it.
In the
But we
spring.
wanted to finish it in the summer when the weather was nice, but they're like, no, come get it done. And so we did it kind of in like early spring, and the weather was still bad, so we had to like fight the rain and stuff.
But it was fun. It was so
one
good.
of the best things that I have ever done. I had never painted a mural before. I had never painted in that scale. It was, yeah, I loved it. I always said, hey, if we can get more mural work, boy, I'm in. I loved it.
Yeah. But no, we enjoy the collaborations because I think one of the big things is none of us ever paints the way that we usually do when we're doing a collaborative. It gets us a little bit outside of our typical styles. We'll play off of the things that the other person does. Sometimes we'll pass it back and forth. Sometimes we'll actually sit down together and paint at the same time.
Which works
we'll
out
mix
good
the
because I'm
both.
right-handed, he's left-handed.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can do that.
But yeah, no, it's yeah. If you haven't done that and you know you like making art, doing a collaborative piece is really fun. You just have to be okay with whatever happens.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like if someone paints over your stuff,
Yep.
you gotta be okay with it.
Yep.
You gotta be okay.
We do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Which is a perfect segue into talking about mixed messages and talking about the show and kind of what's in store and how that came about.
Yeah, so 20 years ago this year, I met Mike. I was working at a magazine. I was a graphic designer for many years. And went for a walk to the deli with my friend Ray. And on the way there, we saw through the window, there was some toys lined up on the window. And a little out of character for me, but I let myself in to this unmarked business. And just walked in and was like, "Hey, what's with all the toys?" And it was, you know, it was a big toy company who at the time was really small, and Mike was working up front, and we ended up just getting to know each other. And I walked in one day, like on a different day, and he had a painting sitting there.
The Monster Who Eats Monsters.
Yeah, which will actually be hanging at our show.
We're gonna hang it at the show. Because that was the first painting that Justin saw of mine.
And I saw this really large painting of, you know, one of your kids' drawings that you had turned into this fantastic oil painting of like reds and very primal, but still kind of like, oh, that looks like art. It was just one of the most amazing things. And I got so excited about painting because I hadn't painted in a long time. And before that, I had never really enjoyed painting. Most of the painting I had done, you know, I'd been painting like little orcs and skeleton Warhammer minis and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh man, I want to do that. And then just a couple days later, I show up with a couple paintings.
Shows up with like 3 or 4 paintings that he had done, and I was just like, wow, these are really good. These are great. I really like these. And one of them was Love the Sinner, which
was the first one I had done.
Yeah, which is also going to be in the show. We're going to do a little.
That one will just be a print because the original one's gone. But yeah.
But we'll have those at the show. We'll have those next to each other, and then we're going to write up a little thing.
Write a little meet cute there
Yeah.
in the middle.
But then people will be able to see like the two paintings that kind of got it started.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And so at the show we'll have collaboratives that we've worked on. We've worked on some new stuff that will showcase here, and then we'll also have, you know, art, just
stuff we've worked on ourselves, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, mostly it's a
Yeah.
celebration of our collaborations, our changing styles over the years. Yeah, and also because we're both August birthdays, we turned it into a birthday party too. So we'll bring some cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But it should be a lot of fun.
Cake, hats, party
Yep.
supplies. Awesome.
Are we gonna decorate? Should we do some
Or
art?
we should hang some art up on the walls.
How about we just hang the cake on the wall?
Yeah, it might end up on the wall.
Performance art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that. I'm into all kinds of art.
All right.
So my last question, do you have any advice for young artists?
I would say for any, I mean, you don't even have to be young, just someone who's beginning artist, because some people start their little art journey quite a bit later. I think to make sure that you find enjoyment in the whole process, to not be afraid to try all these different things. You know, a lot of people, we were talking about this earlier, how a lot of people land on their style, their art style, because a lot of times it's just the only way they can draw or the way they can create. But if you open yourself to trying all these different things, then you're choosing your style. You know, it's not chosen for you.
Yeah, I would just experiment. Experiment. Don't worry about anything looking good. Don't worry about making a mess. You know, not everything needs to be a masterpiece. Just go through all that experimentation, find out what you like, find out what you don't like, and then just go from there. Yeah, get crazy.
And then don't tie your self-worth to what other people think about your art. You are not your art, and if people like it, that's great. If they don't like it, that's fine too. It doesn't change your value as a human. So, yeah.
That's wonderful.
And an art teacher one time well, not to me, he was saying it to the whole class. He said, look, he goes, you young artists, he goes, don't spend so much time worrying about your beard, worrying about your art, which I didn't really understand what he meant at the time, but now I do.
You have a beard now.
Quit trying to look like an artist and appear to be an artist. Work on actually becoming an artist. Yeah. But anyway.
That's wonderful. Is this piece going to be in the show?
Yeah,
we'll hang it.
It'll be hanging up.
We'll hang it in the corner somewhere where it's dark.
Yeah,
you know,
because we like upset as many people. Yeah,
we like our newer stuff better, of course.
No, it was really, it was actually fun when it showed up to see it in person again after so many years. You know, I had the file on my computer and I was like, oh yeah, it just brings back so many memories of working on stuff together. And I do love the old style. So
yeah.
I've been looking at it this whole time. I quite enjoy it. It's so beautiful, and I love all the organic background, and the graphic quality is just extremely cool. So yeah, well, thank you all very much. I'm very excited to show this to the community and excited to see the show.
I'm looking forward to see the magic of editing that happens with this interview, because I hear the camera takes 10 years off of age, so I'm looking forward to the white beard looking more brownish black during the editing as well. So yeah, so thank you.
Yeah.
No, and I just again want to invite everyone to come and hang out with us during the actual event. It's going to be really fun. It'll be really laid back. I mean, it's not like there's going to be cornhole or anything, but we're going to be hanging out.
Yeah, second Thursday of August.
Second Thursday of August, August 14th.
Correct. August 14th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the reception.
Yeah. It'll be up all month.
There'll be cake.
And there'll be cake.
There'll be cake while supplies last.
Thank you both again.